I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. The legacy media keeps doing these stories, it seems like, on a weekly basis, saying that Muslim leaders have started this movement, hashtag abandon Biden or no vote Biden 2024, saying that they are withholding their vote, and the legacy media is making this to be a widespread systemic thing. So I wanted to go and check this out and see, is the legacy media reporting on this fairly and objectively? And the results of our investigation is that, surprise, surprise, legacy media isn't. Let me explain what we've uncovered. So the two main voices that are frequently cited in all of these articles that pop up, as I said, on a weekly basis, how Muslim leaders are abandoning President Biden, include two individuals. One by the name of Hassan Shibli from Florida, another one by the name of Hassan Abdel Salam from Minnesota. Regarding Shibli, our investigation reveals that he doesn't appear to have ever been a Biden supporter, and looking at some of his past posts, he has called President Biden disgusting back in 2020. Shibli has also been accused of engaging in abusive behavior against his wife and other women in an organization that he led and which he was forced to resign. I will talk more about that in this video. Regarding Hassan Abdel Salam, he started a website that is frequently cited in these articles that's referred to as No Vote Biden 2024, and there is a pledge that he asks people to take on change.org. Pledge not to vote for Biden, no ceasefire, no vote, no Biden vote 2024. Looking at this website, I see 10,818 total signatures, but as you dig deeper into this website that is being created, here's what it says in terms of people who are requested to sign this pledge. All people worldwide are asked to sign the pledge to not vote for President Biden, even if they cannot vote in the U.S. elections, as an act of solidarity, it states. I want to dig deeper into this with you in our investigation. But first and foremost, I want to play for you the video that's being shown by lots of right-wing media. This is the video of Hassan Shibli saying that he will not be voting for President Biden and that he wants to make President Biden a one-term president, and other things that are kind of nonsensical on their face, given the alternative is somebody who wants to push forward a Muslim ban, as he previously did, someone who's stated in Donald Trump, I'm obviously referring to, who wants to deport student protesters, who Donald Trump refers to as pro-Hamas student protesters. And Donald Trump said that he would, Donald Trump who said that he would be engaging in additional conduct in the Middle East that would seem on its surface to be objectionable or more objectionable to the people who are saying abandon Biden in these videos. Let me show you this clip and then let's delve deeper. Here, play this clip.
The community will not vote for you. You will lose office. Only then can we hope that in future elections, it may take 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, 20 years, but at least we will send a message. And so in the future, next time there's a Democrat in office, he will not take our vote for granted. He will recognize that there's a red line, and hopefully we'll do the right thing in that circumstance. Because if we were to vote for Biden after what he's done, it'll just send a message that it's okay. We have to teach the Democrats a lesson. We have to teach all candidates a lesson that this is a red line. And if they want our vote, they can't support genocide. And frankly, that's in line with what the American people want.
Okay, so now let's take a look at all of the articles that are being published that quote Mr. Shibli, that quote Hassan Abdel Salam. This was one from The Guardian. Muslim leaders in swing states pledge to abandon Biden over his refusal to call for a ceasefire. Here's Politico's headline. Swing state Muslim leaders launch to abandon Biden in 2024. Muslim American voter group vows to abandon Biden over Gaza war. This is the New York Post. And a lot of these articles basically do exactly what the New York Post says. They cite Shibley from Florida. Quote, "We cannot allow Genocide Joe to have another term in office," said organizer Hassan Shibley of Florida, accusing Biden of being directly responsible for the deaths of 10,000 children in Gaza, a death toll touted by the terror group that has not been confirmed. Representatives from Muslim communities in Arizona, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Florida, Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania met in Dearborn, Michigan to publicize their plans to turn voters away from Biden next year. You see Shibley right there because he's basically the main voice of this. But a further analysis of who Shibley is. Oh, and by the way, there's articles like this from October and November and December. Shibley, who's Hassan Shibley? Civil rights organization CAIR, CAIR, accused of ignoring alleged misconduct. And this is about Hassan Shibley, who in 2021 was 34 years old. For months, this is from NPR. For months, stories swirled around a prominent Muslim civil rights leader alleging secret marriages, bullying, sexual harassment. Then late last year, some of the allegations against 34-year-old Hassan Shibley burst into public view. In a video posted on GoFundMe, Shibley's estranged wife, mother of their 3 children, looked directly into the camera and begged for help. She said her abusive husband had cut her off financially. Quote, "For years, I've been in an abusive relationship and the situation at home has become unbearable," Iman Sarati said. "I finally decided to build the courage to start over for my children and I." Within 15 days of his estranged wife's video going live, Shibley resigned from his high-profile job at CAIR's Florida chapter. In an interview with NPR, Shibley denied abuse allegations, including that he twisted his wife's arm, slapped her, and shoved her against a wall during one incident last summer. That's Sradati detailed in court documents. Shibley also denied all other allegations of misconduct. His resignation, though, didn't put the matter to rest. Shibley's departure emboldened a slew of women to come forward with their own accusations of emotional abuse and sexual misconduct by him and of workplace discrimination at CAIR's national office and several prominent chapters. NPR interviewed half a dozen of Shibley accusers, reviewed internal CAIR documents, CAIR, social media posts, and email exchanges. Together, the accounts portray Shibley as a man who used his position to seduce women and bully critics with impunity.
For me, and I know many families out there, it's more important than ever to make sure that you're saving money and cutting back on your expenses. For example, I used to spend over $100 a month on streaming services. Netflix, Disney+, Prime, you name it. But since I started using ExpressVPN, I've been able to cut back and save so much every month. Let me explain. See, all these streaming services like Netflix actually have thousands of more shows than you think. You just don't see them all because they give you different shows depending on your country. So what you see on Netflix here is completely different to what someone in Italy or South Korea sees. But using the ExpressVPN app, I can change my online location. ExpressVPN has over 90 countries to choose from. So every time I run out of stuff to watch, I just switch over to another country to unlock new shows. Right now, I'm watching Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. It's not on Netflix here, but with ExpressVPN, I just tap one button to change my country to Italy, refresh the page, and it shows up. I don't need to pay extra for Apple TV or Prime just to watch it. And on top of that, I can even use ExpressVPN to get discounts. Some services cost less in other countries. For example, if you buy Netflix from Argentina, it costs a fraction of the price. At less than $7 a month, ExpressVPN pays for itself and so much more. It's a no-brainer. So if you want to get way more shows and save money while you're at it, go to expressvpn.com/MeidasTouch. Don't forget to use my link in the description below and you could get 3 extra months free. That's expressvpn.com/MeidasTouch. expressvpn.com/MeidasTouch to learn more. Thank you.
And then there is this one example that they give as well, of him going on a trip with others from the organization and taking photographs using the official phone from CARE of flight attendants, skirts and behinds and things like that. And one of the women said it was just explicitly uncomfortable to know that my supervisor was essentially taking secret pictures of women while I was on an international trip. If you go into some of his social media posts, you see that he was not a Biden supporter. As I mentioned at the outset of this video, he said regarding Biden, he used the word disgusting, and he says, how did Biden feel about the Arabs? Biden campaign slogan is, quote, "We know Joe." Well, we know Joe very well. We know before he was pandering to our community for votes, he was at AIPAC calling Arabs, and it's an Instagram post. This is from March 8th of 2020, attacking Joe Biden back then as well. And so that's Hassan Shibli. And then you go and you move to Hassan Abdel Salam. If you look at Hassan Abdel Salam's background, I mean, he seems to have attended school up until his PhD outside of the United States of America. And so it's, unclear what or who he's voted for, or how his voting patterns have been in the past, or his registration status. So I want to say that from the outset. It does say here that he's a human rights professor from the University of Minnesota. And then when you go into what this pledge is about, and as I said, there's only 10,818 signatures on this. It says all people worldwide are asked to sign the pledge, even if they cannot vote in the U.S. elections, as an act of solidarity. So requesting that people who aren't eligible to vote sign a pledge to not vote for President Biden, to inflate the numbers. And then you have legacy media on a petition that's secured worldwide, more than 7 billion people, 10,818 signatures. Then you have the legacy media reporting on making it feel that these groups are far bigger than they are, creating a narrative. As my brother Brett wrote on a post, he says, this is not a Biden voter. Hassan Shibli, someone who's accused of sexual misconduct. There's no real social media presence for this, quote, movement before the media coverage. This is not a real trend. It's an astroturfed op being amplified by legacy media because it scares people, riles them up, and get clicks. And what I'm not doing with this video is I'm not going to go deeper into the message that's being spread by these individuals, Hassan Shibli and Hassan Abdel Salam. I'm focusing this video on the responsibility of the legacy media in how they cover these individuals and amplify this, spread the message, and then create a narrative that picks up steam when, if you look at it, the very first thing that I would try to focus my stories on with the power of my pen as a journalist is, if you're going to quote Hassan Shibli, you should explain his past. You can say he's denied the allegations, because he has, but you should explain his past, the investigation that was conducted, his resignation, and what he's previously said about President Biden. Similarly, if you're going to do this story on Hassan Abdel Salam and you're going to cite him, what you should do is you should say that according to the website that he's created, it says that people worldwide are asked to sign this pledge, which is a concerning thing, that asking people who are non-voters to sign this pledge. Those are things that I would focus on. And then I would also focus on the fact of what Donald Trump's viewpoint is here. And if you're going to quote these individuals, you should ask them. You should say Donald Trump stated that he's going to deport Muslims and that he's not going to let Muslims in, and he's going to deport student protesters, and that Donald Trump's approach to this, what would be your response to that? And get a leveled, objective responds here to what's taking place, or at least attempt and try to in your story, which the media isn't doing here. That's why I wanted to cover this. It's why I wanted to let you know what's going on here, and then and then we'll go from there. But let's at least establish this objective criteria when we report on these things. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers, and join us at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Have a great one.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.